This clip is brought to you by SaveWithConrad.com.
We've got an interesting one here. I'm not sure you'll know how to answer. Ray LeDuc wants to know, who would you rank as your best 5 or worst 5 promoters in wrestling?
Best 5. Ron Fuller.
Don't say Tony Khan either. We're not talking about current stuff. We understand that. That's a given. But Ron Fuller.
You just cut me off.
Well, I just know. Oh, and look, because I deal with Tony Schiavone every week. Just it's like, help me out. Come on, we know you like where you work now. That's a given. I'm talking about in the past where you can speak freely.
Don't you think that the people that work for you, that you are beloved to them? I do.
Maybe not all the time. Maybe not Matt Coon. Maybe not Stan Morris, but a couple of those guys, they probably dig it.
You're a great boss. Trust me, I know the difference.
Ron Fuller, he's on the list of your favorites.
Yeah, as a promoter. We're talking promoters now?
Yes, sir.
Is that who we're talking about?
Yes, sir.
Promoters now. Okay. It's probably going to be easier to go the worst.
Let's go with the worst then.
Well, yeah, the worst. Even though I learned a lot from him, Bill Watts was a bit of a bully.
I knew you were going with Watts.
Well, he's just intimidating. And as you are a man young in the business, you learn to keep your mouth shut and your hands to yourself when you're thinking, hey, I've never been talked to like this, and that's reaching in a man's manhood when you go past the line. But when you're the boss, and you've been renowned as like a tough guy on top of that, when you're 25 years old and you're just getting into business and he's offered you your first job, it's kind of hard to have anything other than a respectful feeling for him until he does chew your ass out and goes past the line and then takes it out of your check a couple times for no apparent reason, which you figure out as you get in the business a little longer. It's not such a pleasant feeling, but that would just be one guy. I heard that working for Nick Goulas was not a pleasant situation. And I heard it from Bobby Eaton, who doesn't have anything bad to say about anybody. His word's good enough for me. Some pretty bad horror stories about guys going out to Kansas City and starving to death. I look at that as not being favorable. Of course, there'll always be the tragedy that happened in Puerto Rico, right?
Yep.
We'll carry that stigma around with us, all of us that love the business and just know the horror of how that must have transpired, because we've all been in locker room settings for years and years and decades, and to see something like that occur, a tragedy like that, I can only imagine the feeling. Can you imagine what Dutch Mantel was feeling about that time?
No.
Tony Atlas guys that have been around for a while,
no,
that have good hearts. I can't imagine. Let's see here. Where else do we have? And not having worked a whole lot of territories, my experiences with Crockett were good. For the most part, my experiences with Vince were good for the most part. It's kind of a mixed bag. I don't know that I have 5 either way. Hope he'll accept that as an answer.
Oh, of course. Absolutely. Nate wants to know, does Arn have any memories or stories of working with Nick Bockwinkel, either as an agent in the WWF or WCW? What did he think of his work or promos, and what was he like as a person?
Best dressed maybe of all time, huh? You ever see Nick Bockwinkel that he wasn't dressed to the nines?
No.
Always had that swagger, always had that hair looking right, slick back, looked like a champion, carried himself like a champion. had that accent, that Minnesota accent. He just Nick was a class act, and he was a excellent performer, and he was one of the guys that represented the business well, I thought.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at SaveWithConrad.com.